Hi, and welcome to Genos Picks. I know, 2-2 again last week. We're 23-25, 48% on the year, but we got 6 winners this week. We're going to get into the black. We're not going to look back. But first, you know what really grinds my gears? Stupid NFL fans. Look, there are no great teams in the NFL this year. The #1 team has gone from the Jets to the Steelers to the Patriots, and I believe this week it's the Falcons. And good for them. You're pretty good teams. But if your team stinks and suddenly they're winning, you're not that good, so don't be a stupid fan. I've had it with fans of the Chiefs and the Raiders and the Bears. You're frauds, okay? Because if you're beating bad teams, that doesn't make you a good one. Yeah, the Bears are 7-3. You beat Tyler Thigpen yesterday. And things in the NFL have a way of balancing out. Do you remember the Broncos 5-2 in 2008? How'd that work out? Joe, you remember the Giants were 6-0 last year? I know you do. Well, the Bears, you're 7-3, and you're not that good. And remember something, come this December, the only thing falling harder than snow in Chicago will be you Bears in the standings. Remember that. Let's get to the picks. My first pick, yeah, my big head. We don't have time for pictures. We're making money. The Ravens are giving 11 as of now to the Panthers in Carolina. All right, first of all, the Ravens are coming off a loss, but more importantly, they're coming off 10 days rest. They played on Thursday, so they're good and they're rested. And the Carolina Panthers are decimated. D'Angelo Williams went on IR this week. Jonathan Stewart shouldn't play because the season's lost, so why get him banged up more? And they even admitted it. Clausen's out. The new starting quarterback this week for the Panthers will be Brian St. Pierre. Yeah, in case you're wondering where you've heard that name before, it was 3 seconds ago when I said it, and you said, who the is Brian St. Pierre? He's some guy that's been around 8 seasons, and he's thrown 5 passes. 4 were last year in Arizona, where it's nice and warm. Hope he didn't get too comfy there, because it's going to be 40 degrees in Carolina this week. Look, Vegas, you've got me, because I got to pick a team, right? You can't not pick a team. We gamble. So I'm taking the Ravens, and if you're right, Vegas, take my money. But let me tell you something. There's nothing in Carolina. The Ravens will show up there and find fewer weapons than we found when we showed up in Iraq. Take the Ravens, lay the 11. My next pick, the Packers are giving 3 to the Vikings in Minnesota. Vegas, again, you want my money? You can have it because I'm putting a ton on the Packers. Look, it's going to be 70 degrees in Minnesota this week, and I know they play in a dome, but I don't know what's more surprising, that it won't be chilly outside the dome, see where I'm going, or that there will be a chilly inside the dome. How is Childress still in charge of this team? If ever there was an illustration of how convincingly a team can give up on one coach and play for another, it's Dallas the past 2 weeks. Wade Phillips lost them, and Jason Garrett resurrected them. But Chilly's there now, and everyone's saying, well, this is Brett Favre's Super Bowl. Is it really? Sidney Rice is back and they're in a must-win? I don't care, because they're playing the Packers, who are coming off a bye. And maybe it's Aaron Rodgers' Super Bowl. Maybe it's not up to Brett Favre to retire, because he never will. Maybe it's up to Aaron Rodgers and the Packers to say, this is your swan song. It's this week. It's the Packers. Take them. Lay the 3. My next pick, the Bills are getting 5.5 from the Bengals in Cincinnati. You know why Cincinnati's called the Queen City? Because the word faggot was already taken. Whoa, whoa, don't send me letters. That's the kind of language C.J. Spiller uses on his Twitter. Where does he get the attitude? He's not that good a running back. Because as we learned, and Chan Gailey finally learned, the best running back and every down back in Buffalo, it only took that stupid tweet and a couple weeks ago, Marshawn Lynch being shipped out, for Chan Gailey to realize it. Fred Jackson's the man. Proven last week in the Bills' first win. He had like 20-plus touches, 170 yards. He's amazing. On the other side of the ball, the underachieving Cincinnati Bengals. They're terrible, and their offense is awful, and they just don't have the heart to do this anymore. I'm going to tell you right now, when the Bengals' offense isn't on the field, either underachieving or turning the ball over, their defense will be on the field. And like we said, it will be seeing heavy doses of Fred Jackson, and they're not going to like what they see, people. In fact, the last time anyone was this terrified to see this much of a Jackson was in 1989 when LaToya posed for Playboy. Ha ha! Take the Bills and the 5.5. My next pick, the Falcons are giving 3 to the Rams in St. Louis. Falcons, who are arguably the #1 team. The Rams, who aren't that good. Okay, so why are they only getting 3? Oh, this is where everyone says it. Oh, be careful, Atlanta. This game is a trap game. No, this game is a football game. A trap game is when your girlfriend mentions to you that you promised to take her shopping 3 minutes into sex. Yeah, you better stay focused on what you showed up for, or you're going to leave that place sore and frustrated. Ha! No worries, Mike Smith is still the coach of the Falcons, and he will keep the Falcons focused, and they will take this game. Take the Falcons, lay the 3. Easy money. My next pick, the Steelers are giving 7 to the Raiders in Pittsburgh. All right, the one thing that might scare me about this game is Jeff Reed is gone and Sean Swisham, or whatever his first name is, has to kick in those swirling winds at Pittsburgh. But take the kickers out of the game, because what did we talk about earlier? Stupid fans. All right, Raider fans, pay attention. Your team stinks. You're 5-4. Name one good team you've beaten. Wrong, okay? Because a good team in the NFL, not an average team, a good team is a team with more than 2 games that are more than 2 games above 500. I'll tell you the 2 teams you've beaten with winning records, the Titans at 5-4 and the Chiefs at 5-4. Your opponent's combined record, I'm talking to you, Tallarico, my good friend, is 31-41. You stink, okay? And let me tell you something. Things have a way of balancing out in the NFL, and they start this week for you, Raiders. And I'll tell you one more thing. I hope that all of the fans in friggin' Oakland are Democrats, because you're just like them. I'll tell you, you're so excited about the black guys finally winning that you don't seem to realize all you're doing is beating a bunch of has-beens. And let me tell you something else. Halfway through the campaign, you're going to realize something. You're just as bad as you were 2 years ago. Take the Steelers, lay the TD. My next pick, I know I said 6, but we actually have 7 picks. I know you can't gamble enough this week. Gamble-palooza. Sunday night. Eagles are laying 3 to the Giants in the Meadowlands. All right, I'll tell you 2 things you will not see this week that you saw last week. There's no way Michael Vick can ever play that amazingly again, and there's no way the Giants can ever look that prepared, at least this season again. But I'll tell you something you will see. The Giants are banged up. A lot of their offensive linemen are banged up. That's going to make things hard for the Giants, and I'll tell you something you will see that you saw last week. A confident Michael Vick. He's not only more confident this year than he's been in other years, he's more confident every week as the season goes on. And that is a way of spreading like a wildfire to the other players. The rest of his offense looks at him with such confidence. In fact, the last time I saw anyone look that confidently at Michael Vick, it was the prosecution at the closing arguments of his trial. People, I'm sorry about what Michael Vick did off the field, but let me tell you something. I know if you're a dog fan, you don't like him, but if you're a football fan, look at what this man has done with his second chances, okay? My mother-in-law loves dogs. My good friend Mayor loves dogs. But I'll tell you something. Michael Vick has done more with his second chance as an NFL quarterback than Jeff George ever did with his 8th or 9th, or Ryan Leaf did before he started doing dope in his 10th and 11th chances. People, take the Eagles and Michael Vick and lay the 3. Which brings me to my double your money night. You ready? Which brings me to your double your money Monday night bet, or as I like to call it, let's waste time. Who are we kidding? You know where it's going. The Chargers are laying 10 to the Broncos in San Diego. I know, it's terrible being a Charger fan, and betting them's even worse. Betting San Diego is like being married to a pregnant woman. The first 8 weeks, they're absolutely fucking crazy. But take it from me, by week 11, they're really focused, and you know they're not going to screw you. Take the Chargers, lay the 10. Those are Geno's picks.